I'm going to show you today how to do proxy access online ordering via EMIS web for care homes. So this can be 2 to 3 people in a care home with access to online ordering via EMIS web. They will use the patient access site to order from their end. You can also link more than one practice if you have more than one GP looking after the care home, but I will show you how to do that towards the end. So the first thing that I do is to go onto patient access. Okay. So we are on patient access. So the reason I do the patient access part first is so that you can check that the email address that you're going to use for this online user isn't already in use. I learnt this the hard way, so I spent a long time setting them all up in EMIS first, then went to create the patient access account and realised that the email address is already in use and had to start again from scratch, so it took a long time. So now I always start with patient access first. And the reason that works like that in patient access is because the email address is actually the identification for the patient, for the online user in patient access. So you cannot have more than one account with the same email address because it sets it up as an identifier for that online user. So the first thing I do is try and create a patient access account. So we'll do it as me. So we set the account up as me, continue, and then you put the email address in here. So I'll put in one that I know is being used. Okay, and then at this point, if you accept the terms and conditions and create the account, it wants you to just check you're not a robot. Okay, so it tells me the email is already registered. So this is the point, this is why we do this first. So if the email is already registered, you have two options. You either create a brand new email for that person and start again with another email, or you can delete the account. So to delete the account, we go down here to technical support, and then you will ask a question up here, and you send an email because we need to get the email sent to the person whose account that it is. So you select account deletion, England, and then account delete, and you delete the account. Okay, and then send the message, goes to technical support, and then what happens is they respond within 24 hours and they send a link to the email address that we want to delete the account for, and then the account holder clicks on that link to delete the account. However, it only lasts for 24 hours. So if the person does not click on the link in 24 hours, you'll have to do that whole part again with technical support and send another email to delete the account. This happens a lot with EMIS if previously they have had individual logins for all their residents, and sometimes the homes run out of email addresses to use, so they just use their own address and they connect it to a resident on an individual basis. So that's where we got stuck with a home that needed to switch everybody who was on individual over to Proxy, and found out that all the staff members' email addresses were being used for residents, which is why we needed to get the accounts deleted and start again. So once that's done, I mean, you can do that, or you can then go on to an email address that you know isn't being used. So let's try. Okay. The account. Okay, so now it's been created because we know that the email address has not been used before. And we'll skip the verification for now, leave that page open, and then we go over to the EMIS to start doing the EMIS part. Okay, so now we're on EMIS. The way we do it in EMIS is we have to add the user to every individual resident in the care home. So what we'll do is we'll start with a test patient. So we've got Mr. Fred Test open here, and in the corner here you can see the Proxy sign there that's green. So it's green, so that means there's already someone set up as Proxy. So you can click on it there, and that will take you to the Proxy page. Okay, and then we can see you've got two options. You've got the Proxy button there over in the right hand corner, or you've got the tab here that says Online Services. You can click on either of those and it will take you to the Proxy Access page. So here we can see that Mr. Fred Test has already been set up for his own ordering for himself. He's got his own online access, so this might have happened before he came into the home. So we need to now add a Proxy user. So we're going to add online user, add Proxy user, and we're going to set me up. So let's just see if I'm already registered. So brand new home, we'll put in the new online user in, putting their details in, and just seeing if they're already set up as an online user. Okay, so there's no matching users. So this is the point that you set up your online user. This is the only way in EMIS that you can set up an online user. There's no button or page to actually go and look at all the online users. You can only find them attached to patients. So this is the only way you can create an account for them. So no matching online users. Here we go at the bottom, create a new account. So that's where you would create the new online user account. So here I try to give the title of the care home name so that all the staff at the surgery will know who they are when you're trying to look for them, or if you end up doing a search for online users, which I can show you how to do in a little while. You can do a search to look at online user logins and seeing how they're using their user password and login. So it's really useful if you put the care home name in, so they'll know that that person is attached to that particular care home. So here I try to do, let's do Clare House as a care home there, and then it's very important that you put the email address in here and verify it, because the account won't go live until it's verified. So we'll put in the same one that we've used for online access. Verify it, and then go on to the next part. Actually, here you probably put in the care home name as well. So if we're going to put in Clare House, then the next. That's important that you put something in for the address when you're linking up your practice with patient access. So we'll go on to the next bit, and this is all about the bits of linking to the patient and the demographics of the patient and what you're allowing access to. The first bit is your ID verification of this online user. So here you can add a document, or you can personal vouch, or you can just confirm information. So you will probably only use the identity or the personal vouching at this point. If you wanted to put a document, you can add it here. So if they've signed a form and set up filled in a registration document to become an online user, you can upload it onto your desktop, and this is the point that you can add that file just there as evidence. Or you can do personal vouching. Now I do personal vouching only because I've met all of the care home staff before I set them up. So I know who they are, and I'm setting them up on the basis that I know who they are and I can vouch for them. But your practice will want different things. So if they want to upload the document, you can do it at that point, or if they're quite happy with the verbal vouching, then that's fine as well. So here I just put verbal consent and then save it to the next one. So this is the part where we're giving access to the patient, what you can give to that online user. So these are the options. I am only giving access to repeat prescriptions for my care homes, but you have the option to do appointments, messaging, or the call summary record. You're allowed to give them access to that if you want. I only give medication ordering purely from an IG point of view, data protection. If this is something that you want to do further with your practice, then you can come up with some agreement with your practice if they want them to have more than this. But I only ever give access for repeat prescriptions. The relationship to the patient is the carer. Access to repeat prescriptions, and that's all I give. I don't give anything else. Then go on to next. And then it will just double check that you're allowing it. So yes, we'll allow access to repeat prescriptions. And then you need to give this a legal basis. So again, you can do verbal or written. And this is where you can upload a document if you want to have a signed consent form from your resident. This is the point that you would upload it here and put it in the documents. Or you can do verbal. Now I tend to do verbal if it's a whole brand new home setup and we've got 50 patients. I tend to do verbal because it's quicker, but also you're getting a blanket consent from all of those residents, plus they're already ordering on behalf of that resident anyway, so we're just switching it from ordering from paper to online. So I always do verbal there. And do next, and then verbal consent, save. And once you've got 4 green ticks down the side here, you're good to go, and that means everything's added that you need on there. Click OK. So this is the point where you create a PIN. So you create a linkage key that you'll need to link this account on EMIS to your patient access account online. I don't like emailing it because the person might not get it, or it might not go to the right person, or if the email address isn't verified, then they might not get it either. I print it, but I print it to a PDF document on my desktop. So I've got the information to link to patient access once we've done with the setup in EMIS. So I save it to PDF and I save it on my desktop for now, so that we can come back to it when we need it at patient access. Just wait for that to save. Okay, so that's saved on my desktop now as a PDF. And then once it's done that, wait for it to catch up, just loading. And there I am. I'm now set up to be able to order online for Mr. Fred Test. So then you have to do this again with every single resident that's in the home. You attach the online user to the resident. So we will do it with another test patient. So we'll do Bob Test. Okay. And then we do the process all over again. So you can either use this online services tab here or the proxy in the corner up there. We'll do the tab. Again, he's already set up to order for himself, as he might have been set up for that before he's come into the home. Add online user, add proxy user, and this time I should be already on there, set up. There we go, it's already on there this time, so you just select it, and then down the bottom here, link. The vouching and verbal consent's already in there this time because it was set up last time with the previous resident. So you just click next. Carer, and again we're just giving access to repeat prescriptions, and we are disabling core access records. Again, double check, yes, we're allowing prescriptions. Update the legal basis. Again, I'm just giving verbal, but again, you need to check with your practice whether they want verbal or written. Verbal consent, and then click OK. And that's quicker this time because I've already been set up previously, so it takes less time to do it for the next resident and the one after that. So that's how you would carry on until you've done it to all the residents in your home, and then that's what you also need to do when you get a new resident, is just search for the online user and attach it to the resident. So while we're still in EMIS, the only way you can view an online user is in the patient. So here, like, we've got Bob Test open here, and we've got my name there as a proxy access user. The only way you can actually view that user is this button here, view online user. So we click on that, and this is where you can do not very much, but you can close the account if they leave at the top there, and you can reprint a PIN. So the PIN that we just saved a minute ago to PDF, if they get locked out of their account, or if they need to link their patient access account to their EMIS account again, you'll need to reprint a PIN. So you can create that here. So that's pretty much all you can do with the user. You can edit it and change the name and address. And then at the bottom here, you can see which residents or which patients are attached to that online user. So at the bottom here, we can see Bob Test and Fred Test. So you might need to know that to close the account, print another PIN, but you can also reset the account key and start it again from scratch. So if you're having real difficulties and it just won't link in patient access, and they can't log in, because that happens, and sometimes I've gone through absolutely everything by doing another PIN, setting it up again, deleting the account and starting again, but sometimes you can just reset the account key in EMIS and start from scratch, and then it just kind of resets it if you're struggling and you've got no idea what's going on and why it won't work and why it won't link. All else fails, you can try that reset account key, but I would try first printing the PIN again and trying to link it again. Okay, so that's everything you kind of need to know for EMIS. Once you've accessed all your residents, added all the online users, you'll go back to the patient access. Okay, so we go back to patient access. And now we can use our linkage key that we saved in PDF to link the account we've just set up in EMIS with our account on patient access. So we're going to skip the verification. And then link your GP practice. You search for a practice here. Okay. Search, find it on the list, click continue. Have you received a registration letter? Yes, because that's what we've printed to our PDF file. And then we open the file. That we've saved, and then we need the linkage key. And this is another reason why it's really easy to save it on your PDF file, because you can just copy and paste your linkage key, which is full of lots of different symbols, numbers, lowercase, uppercase, so it's just a lot easier to copy and paste it. So copy that. So there's our linkage key. And then the account ID, which is also on there, which you've saved to PDF, is also on there, and you can just copy and paste that as well onto there. And then confirm it. Your details. House is what we've set up as the address, and continue. It will ask for you to confirm your password again. There we go, and now it's linked. So that's all you need to do. So if you have more than one GP practice, unfortunately they have to be all EMIS. I won't update that. So if you have more than one GP practice and they are EMIS, you just link again. So you'll do the same thing in another EMIS practice, set the online user, and you'll print a PIN and a linkage code. You just do exactly the same, link your GP practice and link another GP practice, and then you'll have both GP practices and both sets of residents from both of them all in this one place on your patient access account. So if we go to the top here now, we can see there's my name, there's my account, it tells me the name of my practice, and it tells me the name of my users that I've linked just there. If you have more than one practice, it would have two practices, but all your linked users would be in one list just down here. So you click on the user that you want. Then repeat medication. Or medication. Just gives you a little reminder that you're ordering on behalf of the patient and which patient it is. And there you have it, all the list of the repeat meds on the screen there. So you select the ones you want to order and then request the two medications. And at this point, if you've got anything you want to add, a message, you put it in this box here. If you needed something that wasn't on repeat, or you wanted the quantity to be slightly different, that's the point that you would put that message to your practice. And then you would click on confirm request at the bottom there. I'm not going to do that because that will send the prescription through. Once you click confirm request, it gives the option to print it. So you can print it off to know exactly what you've ordered for that resident, and that can be your checking in when you get your meds from your pharmacy provider. You can use that as your check-in. You don't need repeat tokens, you don't need any pieces of paper from the surgery, you don't need anything from your pharmacy. You know what you've ordered, you've got it in front of you on the screen, you print it off, and that is your check-in list because you know you've ordered it and it's gone through. And I think that's all I need to say really. So on about the linkage there, there should be no other option other than ordering repeats on there. We'll go back, we won't order that. You can edit request, go back, and you can click off it if you change your mind. And then you can click back in the next day and see what's been processed. So if you've put a request on there that's not on the repeat, when you log in the next day or the day after, when all the repeats have been processed at the GP surgery, you can see exactly what's gone, and you can see if the request that you've asked for has been declined or not. So normally, if you were waiting with your paper orders sent to the surgery, you wouldn't have a clue if that request has been declined or been accepted until you received your order from your pharmacy a few days before your cycle's about to start. When you're doing it online like this, you can log in a day or two afterwards and you can see if what you've asked for has been declined or whether it has been accepted, which is a lot easier for you, because then if it hasn't been accepted, you've got a lot longer to sort it out and talk to the surgery and ask for it and get a prescription for it. Whereas when it turns up on the day of a couple of days before your cycle's about to start and you find it's not there, it doesn't give you very much time to sort it out and get the item in. Whereas online, you can see it and you've got a request and you've got feedback almost instantly from the surgery whether it's been accepted or declined. So that's everything to do with EMIS. The only one thing I need to mention is when you're trying to link the two from EMIS and your patient access account, make sure that it's written exactly how you have it in EMIS. Otherwise, patient access doesn't like it. It has to be exactly how you set them up. So lowercase, uppercase, spaces. It doesn't like it if you put anything slightly different than how it's been set up on EMIS. But that's it. That's proxy ordering in a nutshell. Good luck with setting it up.